You're just listening to Adventure courtesy of bensound.com. On this episode of the Filmcraziest Show, I was able to chat with Anna Shields last month about the release of the new horror film Dawn of the Beast, which she wrote and co-starred in. The film is part creature feature as there's Bigfoot, but there's also a supernatural aspect to it as it also stars the Wendigo. The IMDb synopsis reads, a group of graduate students get more than they bargained for while searching for the legendary Bigfoot. Not only is he real, but there's something far more evil lurking in the shadows, the Wendigo. So it's a bit of a Bigfoot versus Wendigo standoff. So which team are you? Bigfoot or Wendigo? Let me know in the comments. It's a fun film and a fun conversation, and there will be links to viewing options for the movie down below. So check out the film and then check out the interview, or whichever order you do. I don't think we'd speak too many spoilers. Either way, here is Anna Shields to cue us in.
Hi, my name's Anna Shields. I play Lily in Dawn of the Beast, and I also wrote it. And you're watching the Filmcraziest Show.
Awesome, cool. It is great to have you here, Anna.
Nice. Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. Now, I was curious just to start with maybe a loaded one. So writing a movie about Bigfoot and Wendigos, do you believe in it or?
Yeah. So I'm extremely superstitious, or I'm just like scared of everything. That's why I love horror. It's almost like therapeutic for me. I get asked that a lot, usually about Bigfoot, and I guess I don't not believe in both. Is my answer. Obviously I've never seen Bigfoot, surprise, or the Windigo, but I 100% believe in ghosts and everything. And before writing about Bigfoot, because I wrote a previous movie called Monstrous, which is almost in the same universe as this one, and that was just solely about Bigfoot. I had no idea about the huge following behind him. Like I started researching, obviously, trying to be a good writer. And he just has such the strong fan base, and he's depicted as this kind of like silly, evil monster and so many different things. And then you look online and so many people think he's like the protector, and there's people actually out there looking for him. I have a lot of people on Instagram who started following after that and this movie, and they're literally out there looking for Bigfoot and document it. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm not going to say it's not real. I don't not believe it. And the same with the Windigo.
Okay, cool. Now, I don't know if you, there's a show coming on Hulu on April 20th, just to plug something else, that it's called Sasquatch. And it's like a true crime documentary kind of thing.
God.
And
amazing.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh boy, I'm going to check that out. I thought I heard something about that. I didn't know it was like a true crime thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a 3-episode like docuseries. So you might enjoy it if you enjoyed the research on this film.
I will definitely check it out.
Okay. Also, just another aside. Have you seen Ted Lasso yet?
Ted Lasso? No.
Okay.
What is that?
It's a show with Jason Sudeikis, and he's like he goes to the United Kingdom to coach a soccer team, even though he does not know anything about soccer.
Oh, excellent!
And it's great. I'm bringing it up because you said I do believe in ghosts, and there's I'm probably gonna edit this out, but there's a line on the show. There's a line on the show where someone's like, "Do you believe in ghosts, Ted?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do, but more importantly, I think they should believe in themselves."
That's so great. I love that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
Okay, that's awesome.
They should believe in themselves. That's amazing.
I know, right? And getting back to Bigfoot, sorry,
I said so should Bigfoot. He should believe in himself too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Now, getting back to Bigfoot, there are so many. I feel like there is a lot of different films where they decide if they don't want to show him as much, or if they want to show him a lot. And your film is very much, hey, like 7 minutes in, here's Bigfoot. I was curious what went into the decision behind that.
Okay, yeah. So the movie we previously did on Bigfoot, also with Bruce Wemple, Monstrous, we took the Jaws approach, where number one reason for that was we had a lot less money going into it, and we still put a lot of effort into the costume. We had like a muscle suit made. The guy we had, Dylan Grun, he was a stilt walker, so we built stilts into the paws and everything. But we had a lot more resources this time to make it look that much better. So before we did take the Jaws approach, where we just chose our very particular moments to show him, and was more of like silhouettes and backlit and stuff like that. This time we thought it would just be really funny to do a straight up monster movie. Like, it's monster versus monster. We have to show him. So that was kind of, it was like we had two goes at it. We took the don't show approach, and now this was the show approach.
Okay. And I guess if anyone's seen the don't show approach, this is just like, okay, we get him a lot more this time.
Right, exactly.
Okay. This is very much your own little Godzilla versus Kong.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know how many spoilers you want to talk.
I mean, I think there's, we show that there's a fight between Bigfoot and the Windigo in the trailer.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yes, very briefly. So we've mentioned that, and probably not who specifically dies, because that's a fun part of the movie. But other than that, I think it's pretty much out there.
Okay. So I'll kind of talk about that. What was it? Was that the most fun to write? Just Bigfoot coming in and kind of just kicking the little henchmen's asses?
Okay, so for those parts, I mean, when you're working with this small a budget in the first place, once you get to set, so many things are going to change just based on location. Like, oh crap, we can't use that today. Let's improv. So for things that are that huge, I think I wrote 2 lines. It was like, just about Bigfoot coming in and just the general idea. He's taking out Windigos one by one like a badass or something. I think that was it, because I know Bruce is going to go in there and just choreograph everything. And we had, stunt guys actually in the suits and everything doing it. And we had this amazing special effects guy, Jared Balog, who really made everything. And a lot of the choreography was also helped with him, because we had to figure out what was doable with the budget effects wise, and then like what we can do to achieve that. Like, can we get blood gushing out here? Okay, we can throw this guy against a tree, stuff like that.
Okay, that's awesome. I like now I did Biggie, I mean, I guess you call him Squatch in the film?
Yeah. I think that was a joke. It was kind of a nod to the other film Monstrous, because in that one I also I play the lead in that one, Monstrous, and my best friend in that movie keeps calling him the Squatch, and I'm like, don't call him that, because it's like a joke. And so I think I just thought it was so funny. And he actually, the guy who plays my best friend in that movie, is my enemy in this movie. He's like this backwoods creepy guy who I guess it's a spoiler, I can't say what he does, but backwoods creepy guy. And I was just kind of trying to piss him off in the movie, calling him the Squatch, because he takes Bigfoot very seriously. So that was
okay, that's fair. I hope it doesn't piss off any fans.
I know, I don't know how it is in the community with the names, but yeah.
Okay. Now, so they're separate characters from the kind of first one.
Yes, yeah, a lot. So I've done a lot of movies with Bruce, and we kind of just have this family of actors too, and we reuse people a lot. We even just did a movie. It's in post now, another movie, but it's like so many people we love to reuse, because we know people are fun, and it's always really collaborative when we're on set. And if somebody has an idea, it's like, oh my God, that's so much better. Let's do that. So it's great when you find actors that are that easy to think on the fly and just cooperative and everything. We reuse people like crazy, myself included.
That's awesome to have that network.
Yes, for sure.
Must make everything go much smoother, right?
Yeah. And it's like, without big budgets, we're not putting people in huge hotels usually. So a lot of times we'll rent an Airbnb where we're shooting, scout the locations, which is Bruce's MO. That's what he does because I'm out here in LA. But
Okay.
so we'll book these Airbnbs, and then all the actors will be there. So we're usually living with each other. So it's just great because especially for even something like this where it's like an ensemble cast, you get some kind of chemistry between everybody because you're seeing them for breakfast, you're banging on the bathroom door, somebody's hogging at the shower, and it's like you really get to know everybody, which is great.
Okay, so that scene in the film where someone's banging on the door on your character was that kind of meta?
A little bit, yeah. Honestly, I think I was the one hogging the shower. We all took turns hogging the shower in real life because just that blood. First of all, Jared's a genius. Whatever blood mixture he did just came out like that. And obviously, I haven't done my roots for a while. You can tell my hair has dyed. So I was very terrified of getting all the blood in my hair and just being a redhead the rest of the time. But it washed out like that. But we're covered in dirt and leaves. So anytime someone gets in the shower, it's like, oh shit, it's going to be like 40 minutes to get all this crap off of them.
See, but if you would have turned into a redhead, I feel like you could have made it into like the story, like, oh, you see the Wendigo, he turns into a redhead.
Yeah. It's all this weird Windigo energy going on. I don't know.
Exactly. Now, being the writer of the film, did you write Lily with yourself in mind, or?
Okay, so yeah, this one was actually a weird process for writing because we had already had our funding in place before we started. Because a lot of times we'll have a script that like was either my idea or Bruce's idea, and then we'll pitch it. This one, since we went through the same distribution, it was sort of just like, so we made a Bigfoot movie, we made a Windigo movie. Would you like a Bigfoot Windigo movie? Yes? Okay. So then Bruce is more the structure outline guy. So he's great at putting together like, okay, act one, this, act two, blah, blah, blah. And then I go in and I actually write it all. And then, but we're always in conversation throughout the entire process and like bouncing ideas and everything. And then for me, sometimes I tend to overwrite too. So then it's just red penning the whole thing and not being precious. So yeah, it was a little bit of a weird process because it wasn't necessarily about like what we thought were cool ideas. It was like, okay, what are they looking for this one? And it was very clear, I think, we wanted just kind of in a crass way, balls to the wall, like just horror, gore, excitement, like let's do it. Because the past two films were a little more character heavy and introspective, I guess you could say. But this one we're like, nope, monsters are the star of the show. People know what they're getting. Let's do it. And yeah, in terms though of playing a part, I always try to just forget that I'm even in it. I try really, really hard to distance myself because I don't want anything biased or like, oh, let me make myself the lead of this, And I'm like, you're not writing something, like, don't write a big monologue. You want to do a monologue, like, forget you're playing the character, give everybody, especially with this one, I tried really hard to separate all the characters, it's such an ensemble. It could have been really easy to just forget certain ones. And I was trying very hard to give everybody at least like one moment and everything.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to pretend I didn't write it.
Now, I did not realize you guys really truly do have this like little movie universe with Bigfoot, then Wendigo, then hey, Wendigo and Bigfoot. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was it like doing that Wendigo film? What's that one called?
That one's called The Retreat. So that one was Bruce's project. I help connect the people. So I helped just produce, but that was really his project. I was really excited about that one too. It was, he really sort of, I mean, obviously we researched the Windigo, or he did. And I've always just loved that concept. Even it's just so, it scares the crap out of me. Because supernatural stuff to me is scarier. But he really did such a great job of incorporating both the supernatural, so you get that psychological fear, but then also creating these hideous little creatures to be the embodiment of what happens if you get possessed by the spirit. You become these creatures. So I thought that was just a really unique way of looking at it. So that's kind of where that came from.
Okay, cool. Now, what was it like designing those little, and you call them creatures?
Yeah, It's funny. I think in the script, in his original script for The Retreat, I think he called them White Walkers or something. And you never hear the term. It was just for us, like, to know what we were doing. And we, I think it's okay to say we got the mask and the suit for those from Immortal Masks, which has amazing stuff there. They're amazing. So we didn't create those suits. We had those. And then, you put like the glycerin or whatever to make him creepy and then shoot them in certain ways. But Bigfoot is the one that we created. And then Jerry Balog went and did all the prosthetics on the face and stuff.
Okay. Now, the White Walkers, I feel like that's like Game of Thrones, just knocking on the door.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Hey, open up.
Maybe, oh no, White Crawlers, I think I don't know.
Okay.
It was a made up term. We didn't use it. It was just to know what the hell he was writing at the time.
Okay, fair enough. See, I thought of them as like henchmen. Like, I don't know.
A little bit, because the idea was that they're being controlled by the spirit, which we symbolized with the horn heads, and then the guy in the cloak, and he's hidden in the darkness with the eyes piercing.
Right.
That's the spirit.
Okay, yeah, that was super creepy. Just like seeing like just the like a little elk. What antlers? I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Just in the middle of the woods. That was awesome.
Yeah. I think to me that feels like the creepiest part too. I think it depends on what scares you, I guess.
Yeah, fair. And I mean, I guess that's just the interesting dynamic here with just the difference of you don't see too much of the Wendigo. Like he's a bit more creepy, but you see like, and then with like I guess different from the other Jaws approach, you just see a lot of Bigfoot, but he's creepy because the makeup is so awesome.
Yeah, I know, very impressive. And I didn't know what Bigfoot was even going to look like this time because it was different. I was like, oh my god, it's amazing, very exciting.
Okay, cool. Now, do you consider this a Bigfoot or a Wendigo movie?
Oh god, I don't. I think Bigfoot definitely, I think, is like a hotter buzzword for sure. Like people hear Bigfoot, you're like, oh wow, like it. But at the Windigo at the same time, to me, I think is more intriguing just as a concept because it can be done so many different ways. I don't want to choose teams. It's Bigfoot versus Windigo.
Exactly. Okay, that's fair. Just like, are you team Wendigo or are you team Bigfoot?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and definitely like Bigfoot is definitely more depicted in film, and the Wendigo, I could think of a couple like Larry Fessenden's Wendigo, and then that episode of Supernatural. But that's kind of where the list ends. Even
in oh my god, I'm so stupid. What was that Stephen King thing that was like the other year? You bring back the cat. Well, Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary.
My god. They briefly touched on the Wendigo in that, I think. At least in the book. I think they did in the movie, maybe tiny bit.
Oh yeah, you're right. In the book they do. I don't know. I honestly take my horror card away, but I haven't seen the original, even though I'm like Stephen King's. He's my favorite author.
Okay. You know why? Because I'm a huge animal activist and I love animals, and I just didn't have the heart. I was like, no, the cat, no, can't see it. But then for some reason I saw the remake, so I guess that I'm a hypocrite.
80s cat act, 80s animal cruelty, nah. But 2019 animal cruelty. I'm game.
Like, as long as there's this amazing website, I use it like every day because I love watching all kinds of horror, and sometimes it gets a little nasty, and I'm like, I need to make sure no animals were actually hurt. So it's this website called doesthedogdie.com, and I love it. So it tells you literally if just in the movie an animal dies, obviously it's fake, but they usually also comment like, oh, this was not approved by the ASPCA or something. So it's like something could have been wonky in it. So I always go through that because sometimes I'll watch really low budget horrors just for fun. And I'm like, I don't know about this. So I always scope them out first.
Okay. I have something to tell you about the movie Marley and Me.
Oh, yeah, I think I already know. Please don't.
Sorry.
Do you mean A Dog's Journey? Maybe that's what.
No, there's Marley and Me from like 2008, and then pretty much any dog movie.
Don't tell me. I already saw it. Get out of here.
No. Okay. I also wanted to ask about the the title here, just with Dawn of the Beast. Like,
Yeah.
was that always the title, or like, because there's some interesting ones you could have went with, like the Dead Month even. But like, I'm just curious, like, what went into the title for Dawn of the Beast?
Okay, so I think that was Bruce's call. What usually happens, it's interesting how little control you have over a movie once it's starting to go through distribution, like the cover and everything. But that one, I think Bruce suggested that one. I am like notoriously bad at coming up with titles. So I let him do this, but it's, distribution throws out ideas. Sometimes our sales rep does, Bruce did. And I think that one was Bruce's idea. But we originally did come up with Dead Month. I think that was either him or one of the cast. It was on set that we came up with that one. We were all like, oh boy. But for some reason, Dawn of the Beast got chosen, which I'm also cool with. I like it. So,
yeah. Okay. I like it too. It's a good title. Like, I hope I don't sound like I'm like, ooh.
Oh, no. I meant for me, I'm like, I like the title.
Okay. Like, I swear, anybody listening, I like it.
I like it.
I also wanted to ask like another question about Lily, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I was like, okay, like maybe this is the meta writer in you. Because I like the irony of just the fact that, I'll try not to spoil, but just Lily coming back to the group and them having this exposition scene on their own where it just explains the plot a little bit. And then she comes in, and I thought it was just kind of interesting that she didn't really know the context of what was happening. And just you being the writer playing that character, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it is fun. I mean, even like, I think we actually had a whole little confrontation between her and the Chris character when I come back in, and it was sort of the two of them filling each other in. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Okay.
And then we decided in post, we're like, you know what? Cut it. Like, it's so much better to just have this, like, obviously you're running from a creature already. You don't know what the hell's going on. Somebody else is running from something. Like, just cut it. It's mayhem. The audience doesn't need to hear it. They just saw it. So I think it was more of that, but it was, so filming it, I think at that point I did learn what was going on. So playing the part, I knew everything, but it's funny in post. It's like now the movie, my character didn't know what the hell was going on for part of it. So hope the acting came off both ways, whatever.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, is it kind of harder, like trying to pretend that you don't know what the hell is going on?
It would have been. Yeah. Okay. It is funny. I didn't even think of it that way after it came out, because I was so in the mode of like I got filled in on everything. But yeah, that is hilarious.
Okay, fair enough. So that's funny with the context of like, the character didn't know, but like in editing, she did not know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, cool. Also, what's it like seeing just a project that you've had a hand in writing, and then Bruce did the treatment, so just what's it like seeing your words come to life? That must be a cool feeling.
Yeah, it's always different. I mean, this one was definitely the least precious thing so far, I think, because we already knew it was like, obviously we were trying to be scary, but it was also leaning more towards campy than we had previously. So it was just really fun to see all the actors play with everything, and like things that maybe I thought were more serious, they're goofier now, and I'm just all for it. I'm like, oh, awesome. But also just seeing, like, because Bruce, everything's just very collaborative. So throughout the edit, he edits it, which is just insane. He does like so much. So he's going through editing just like at a rapid speed, and then he'll send me and some other people the edits as he goes along. So I see it just like slowly being formed into this like finished product. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's cool to feel like we all have a chance to give some input, and even other actors and everything. Because sometimes, your eyes get tired and you just completely miss this huge thing. Like, we're like, there was something that we missed and it was just so obvious, and I forget, so it's irrelevant. But there's things like that Bruce and I don't catch, and an actor does, and we're like, for the love of God. So, but it's really fun, and it's Yeah, it's great to see the final thing. And even, I'm not on set for all of the filming. Like Bruce had gone in earlier with some of the actors to shoot that final fight scene between the Bigfoot and Wendigos. So to see that come together and everything that I wasn't on set to shoot is really, really fun.
Okay, cool. I just thought of a great name for the Wendigo henchmen.
What is it?
The Wendighosts.
Oh my god, get out here. That's great. I love it. The Windigos. The Winda who? The Windigos.
I'm just picturing them now like going into a cheer. Wendighosts.
Yeah, Windigos. My god.
I'm a moron.
It's all right, me too.
Cool. What was it like finding that balance between the psychological and just the creature feature?
Yeah, it was pretty difficult. I mean, with this one too, it's like I don't want to do a spoiler, but it's also like a there's a kind of evil person just in general with so there's an evil person, there's possession-y kind of stuff, supernatural stuff with that, 2 different creatures. So it is a lot, and it's kind of, you're right, it's difficult, especially just to focus like, okay, which one of these is the most interesting? Because you could make a movie for any one of these, just a single movie, and kind of splitting it all up that way. And I think a lot of that was due to the structure, which Bruce did. So it's like, okay, act 1, we're going to introduce, we got a cold open, 2 of the monsters, a kind of hint of possession-y stuff, and then just filling it out throughout. And I think one of the things that really helped was kind of breaking up the ensemble. We chose to have them kind of split up a little bit just to fill in, show, not tell for the audience of different things happening. And like, okay, we're going to deal with Bigfoot in this chapter. We're going to deal with the Windigo here and a possession. So I think it was mostly due to structuring is how we figured out how to deal with it, if that makes sense.
Okay. No, yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. Cool.
Okay.
Now, I also wanted to ask, like, what was it like doing the design of the Bigfoot stomps, like the sound design?
So Nate Van Dusen is the one who was on set doing sound, and he is the composer and does the sound design too. So that's in his court. I'm not sure how that was. I definitely hear before and after, so I can tell it's great.
No, what was the before?
I'm sure
like? Just little stomps?
Well, sometimes we'll either. The before for the Windigos was hilarious because I think we had one screech, like a stock screech or something. We just put it in every single time. And we're like, don't worry about it. Just ignore it. We're going to put the real ones in later. And I think for Bigfoot roars, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, so I don't know, but I think it was Bruce and Nate roaring and like tuning it. I think so. Or a combination of that and other roars. But it is really interesting. No, in the beginning, a lot of times we just don't have anything. Like it's, we'll either swap, I'm not doing any of this, Bruce and Nate. We'll either swap like little fake sounds, maybe they found somewhere or just did something really quick, or we just don't have it at all.
Now, did you hear those like little screeches on set, and did you want to laugh at them?
I can't. So the way we shot this one was a lot of the points that we had the monsters, we weren't actually, we would be acting to fake things, like pretending we were seeing things a lot of the time. Sometimes not, obviously, because we only had our special effects and monster stuff certain days. So I think we had like 2 or 3 days with the monsters and the special effects. So a lot of times we'd have to split up the scenes when we're filming. But Ariella, who plays Isabel, because I can't give things away, but at some point she screeches, and that's coming from her, so we hear that.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to ask, the title design is pretty cool. I mean, I know you don't have a hand in that, but what was it like seeing that in the credits?
Oh, the credit sequence in the beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a great story. So, Anthony Riccici is our illustrator who did the book in the movie. So all we needed was a few, I think it was 4 creepy drawings with a little bit of like writing in it. And then, you see a book in the movie, it looks like there's a lot of pages, you assume there is, and you only see 4. Bruce goes to pick the book up. Anthony, like no lie, I think did like a 90-page book of illustrations just like for fun. And we were like, are you kidding me? Like, it was just amazing. He's so good. And, just little Bigfoot drawings, Windigo, it scared the crap out of all of us. And so we just knew, we were like, oh, this is the opening title sequence, hands down. We're using this book. So that's how that happens. And then, and then obviously Bruce did all the editing with I don't know a technical word for but the editing on the book. But yeah, that was all thanks to Anthony Riccici, who's very talented. And he did artwork for some of our other movies, The Retreat, the Windigo one, and Lake Artifact, way back in the day. That was a time travel, campy, horror-ish one.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think you've just made the technical term editing jujuju.
No. Good.
Good. I'm always curious if like with like that book you're talking about, like it's like, okay, is it only because I know I've asked before on other interviews, just like, oh, like when someone's putting together a photo album, like do they have to do it all, or is it just the 4 pages that we see, right?
Yeah. I mean, you would think it would just be the 4 pages, but he went above and beyond.
I love art directors. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. And he came to set one of the days. It was a lot of fun. So he's great. He's good people.
Okay, good. So I'm curious if you like the experience of acting, or if you like the experience of writing more.
Yeah, a lot of people ask that, and I always get confused. Not confused, I just don't know. Like I think I've been asking myself that since like I started trying to write in college. I've always been acting. Like I used to do regional theater in the Berkshires in Massachusetts. When I was even back in elementary school, like I was doing I played blind child number 3 in The Miracle Worker.
That's a big role.
Yeah, so, I know. It's where it all began. But yeah, so I think, but I was always writing little short stories, like even back in elementary school, I'd like do these little stories, and I wrote a novel I was very proud of when I was, I think 12. And it was about a bunch of kids who get stuck in an island, and it was kind of like Lost, but there was like this evil teacher that like followed them, and there was a helicopter chase and stuff. But I think I just never had I was much more self-conscious about writing, so I never showed a lot of people. And I think I just thought like, oh, you can't do this, which is weird because acting seems very that's not something people think is an easy thing to do. But I think I just got more feedback with acting, and a lot of it was positive, and I'm like, oh, I can do this. But with writing, I'm like not showing anybody. And then in college, I wrote, it's called Little Bi Peep, and it's a queer dark comedy.
Okay.
And that was the first time I was just in college. I didn't have any writing classes. There wasn't a film program. It was just theater. And I just decided to write something, a feature. And in the upstate New York region, I had no idea there were all these filmmakers. And I made contact with some people, and this director, John Russell Crane, really liked the script. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'm a writer now. And then we made it, which was great. And I acted in that as well. But yeah, writing definitely seems less natural to me than acting, for sure. A lot more challenging. But not that acting isn't challenging. I think technically I probably enjoy acting more because I feel a little bit more freedom for some reason. Whereas writing, it's hard because it's like coming from me, but also adhering to like rules, sort of like, oh crap, this is going too long for act 1. So I think writing's more enjoyable, but I like them both a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
My long-winded answer.
I love it. Because I was gonna ask, because like acting, it seems like you can rehearse for acting, or you can do acting so many different ways depending on the actor. But with writing, there's like so much structure, and then it's your baby with your words on the page, and then there's so many drafts you have to do. So
100%.
Very different.
Yeah, and I've never even had a writing class. I don't know if I should say that, but I I read and I research and I, look at the structure and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, for me, I mean, maybe that's why. Maybe I need classes, but
You're a fast learner.
But it is literally you. It's you doing everything, as you know. You said you right. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So Anna Shields, writer and actress as Lily in Dawn of the Beast, which has come out on demand wherever you get your films on April 6th. So check it out.
Yeah.
Your guns. Okay.